Welcome to Freaky Fauna Friday, where every Friday we take a little time and explore some of the freaks of nature from around the planet we cherish so deeply. So please, jump aboard and let's explore the wilds together. Welcome back to Freaky Fauna Friday. Woo!
Woo! We're back on a Friday.
I am the great and powerful Mr. E.
And I am Jay.
Are you?
Yes. I'm always just Jay on Freaky Fauna Fridays to go into the weekend of wonderfulness and joyousness.
The weekend.
The weekend.
I just thought of a really bad Your Favorite Martian song that is not appropriate for this show.
My favorite Martian?
It's like, yeah, you'd like him.
Oh, okay.
He's an artist.
Oh, okay. I was like, the movie?
No, so who are we talking about today, Jay?
Oh, probably some sort of avian thermal vent glider.
Yes, those are all words that do apply.
Yes. I forget what it was.
The Stellar Sea Eagle.
The Stellar Sea Eagle. Oh, these are those big ones.
Yeah, these are the ones that attack planes.
That's a big bird.
Yeah,
Not to be confused with Big Bird.
So the sheer size of the Stellar Sea Eagle is enough to make this raptor one of the most impressive birds in the world. Females can reach up to 20 pounds and have an 8-foot wingspan.
That's a big, big wingspan.
Yeah. They typically, they can carry stuff that's between 13 and 25 pounds.
Okay.
So they can almost carry their whole body weight.
Oh, that's how they weigh? I mean, that's a lot for a bird.
Birds are light.
Yeah, it's a lot for a bird.
So adults, on average, when they're standing, they're around 33 inches tall.
With an 8-foot wingspan?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
But there have been some really large adults that are 41 to 45 inches tall.
Oh, that's huge.
That's almost 4 feet.
That's almost as tall as me.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, that's at just below our chest.
Yeah. Oh, no, I wouldn't.
Imagine seeing an eagle that big.
And then sticking its wings out.
Yeah.
I mean, like a 10-foot wingspan.
Just truly massive.
Yeah.
So these guys are native to the northern hemisphere.
Okay. And they're eagles.
Yeah, they are raptors, yeah.
So they got the big claws and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, they are native to the northern hemisphere. They mostly prefer colder coastal climates, but they can be found anywhere. Andy, Patreon member Andy from Cryptids of the Corn, just had one in his hometown, and I cannot remember. He's a New England guy.
Yeah.
Is it Massachusetts? I want to say he's Massachusetts.
Yes. Yep.
But they just had one in their hometown show up.
That's pretty sweet.
But yeah, and they make massive nests.
I need to look one up right now.
What?
Stellar Sea Eagle. I need a visual on this.
But yeah, so these guys are world travelers. So they've tagged some of these Stellar Sea Eagles, and they've ended up over a year spending their whole life around the northern hemisphere. The same eagle could be in Canada, could be in Maine, could be in Greenland, could be in Europe, could be in Russia, and then back to Alaska in 1 year.
These are cool looking birds too.
Oh, then they are massive. They do prefer coastal regions though.
Okay. They got a really cool black and white coat on them. Or is that what you call it? A coat? Well, what would you call a bird bird's feathers?
Plumage.
Black and white plumage?
Mm-hmm. That's the name of plumage.
Oh, it's really neat looking.
Now, technically, they are not the tallest. So it's kind of weird when you're talking about birds because they have the biggest wingspan of most of the predatory raptors.
Yeah.
I mean, there's stuff that aren't raptors, like condors and stuff like that have bigger wingspans, albatrosses.
Albatross, yeah.
But the harpy eagle is technically a little bigger.
Okay.
But they have a shorter wingspan because they're a jungle animal. So these big birds in the jungle have a shorter wingspan.
Yeah, to get in and out of trees and stuff.
But yeah, the Stellar Sea Eagle is one, like you said, a thermal vent rider.
What's that mean?
They can just fly super massive distances without touching landfall and stuff like that. They cross the ocean. So for a bird that can't swim, and they can kind of swim. Everybody's seen videos of eagles in the water and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They can kind of swim, but they're not like an albatross where they float.
Yeah, they're not meant for.
They can't take a break on the water.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so they're crazy. Their diet, they feed on fish, as probably the most common meal, specifically targeting trout and salmon. They'll follow like runs and they'll follow the oceanic schools and stuff like that.
So do they dive to get their food or
Yeah.
what? Oh, they do?
Kind of like an osprey.
Okay.
So they're kind of halfway between like what you'd think of for a bald eagle, which do eat a lot of fish,
Yeah.
and an osprey, which are fish specialists as far as the large raptors.
I seen last year in Minnesota we cleaned this pike and we threw it up on the threw the guts out.
Mm-hmm.
This one was like big. It was a 30-something inch pike. It was a big boy, and they're still heavy even with the meat cut off them. This was a bald eagle, swooped down, picked this whole thing up, and it tried taking off, and it got about a foot off the water. That's all the further it could go. But it took that thing and went about, I don't know, 200 yards away, and then landed in this tree, and then started eating it. But it carried off this huge fish. It tried. It made it.
So Steller seagulls will also eat mammals, crabs, other birds. They're not above scavenging, and they're definitely not above bullying animals off of their own prey.
I can see that.
So
most eagles seem to do that.
Well,
the bigger they are.
The Steller seagull is the king of this.
Gotcha. Okay.
They will eat bald eagles. They'll body them.
Oh, dang.
Like nothing.
Yeah.
They've been seen fighting with golden eagles
and winning. Jeez.
And they've even been witnessed to chase and fight off brown bears for their kills.
Okay, so they got some cojones on them too.
Oh, I'll tell you about stories later. These guys have caused plane crashes.
Oh, okay. What they do? Fight the plane too?
They'll land on the wing of a plane. So I'll just tell you now. Especially in Alaska and northern parts of Russia, Steller seagulls are really scary when you're in a little plane. Okay. In a little plane, 40, 45-foot wingspan plane.
Yeah.
Because literally Jurassic Park, like Jurassic World, the most recent one, had a video or a segment where Quetzalcoatlus was flying over and they seen this big black shadow and they're like, oh, that's not good. And then it lands on the wings and starts ripping the wings up.
Oh, okay.
Steller seagulls do that in real life.
They actually do it.
They've known to take out like paragliders and stuff like that. They'll land and just start ripping the wings apart.
That would be scary.
But there was a biplane that crashed because they seen like an eagle go over, like, he's getting really close. And then they felt the thud of him landed on it. And he's sitting there and he's pulling rivets out of the plane's wings.
That's insane.
And once the wing caught, it ripped big chunks of metal off. And he's sitting there this Steller seagull's using its beak and its talons, just ripping these wings apart.
Yeah.
You imagine seeing a 4-foot tall eagle on the wing of your plane going, just ripping it off like a gremlin.
I would do a complete nosedive.
Well, that's why he had to land. He had an emergency land.
Yeah, that's insane. From a bird.
Yeah. So these guys are crazy. So their reproduction, they have a late winter courtship. Eagle courtship around the world is some of the craziest courtship. So bald eagles often die in their courtship rituals.
Don't they grab?
So they lock talons and then they nosedive. And the plan is for the male not to let go before the female lets go. Sometimes, though, their talons lock and neither of them can let go and they just smack into the ground.
Well, it's meant to be.
They usually lay between 1 and 3 eggs. They're a greenish-white color. The eggs incubate between 40 and 45 days, and the female rarely leaves the nest. So some eagles, it's very different between species. Some share a partnership. Some are like some species of bird, like chickens. You go watch chickens and stuff like that. The hen will never leave. Mm-hmm. The female will never leave the nest. Steller seagulls are more like that.
Okay.
Sometimes it's been witnessed where the male will switch out with the female.
Yeah.
And it's more that she doesn't want him to.
Okay.
Not that he wouldn't be willing to, but both parents are very into the raising of the offspring. They occasionally have 2 and even 3 chicks that are raised successfully. That's really rare, though. Most of the time, each year the pair only produces 1 viable chick, even if they lay 3 eggs. The chicks are born with a white, silky down and quickly change to a brownish-gray color as they quickly grow. It normally takes about 10 weeks for the eagle to be a fledgling, and it usually takes place in August or September.
Does that mean it can fly?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's starting to learn how to fly.
Yeah.
It takes them about 5 years for a Steller seagull to reach sexual maturity and full color. So just like a bald eagle, people know that like juvenile bald eagles have a brown head.
Right.
Even when they leave their parents, they still have a brown head.
But 5 years?
Yeah, it's about similar to a bald eagle.
Dang, that's a long time.
Mm-hmm. So their status. So it's weird. Steller seagulls and great white sharks share a lot in common.
Okay.
That they are circumnavigating species. So that means each species will circumnavigate the globe in a year.
Okay.
So, like great white sharks, for example, can end up in one individual great white shark can end up in every ocean in 1 year.
Okay, makes sense.
That for research, it's extremely hard to get a population estimate.
Right, because they're all over the place.
Like, are you seeing the same shark in Africa that we're seeing in South America that we're seeing in Japan?
Right, yeah.
Yes, you could be.
It could be, right.
So are we counting that as 3 sharks? Are we counting it as 1 shark? So it's extremely hard.
Right.
Especially with juveniles. Older adults tend to have distinguishing features. Specifically, great whites, they look at scar patterns and stuff like that. Because it's an easy thing that doesn't change. Or it's very hard for it to be matching of another animal.
I think I just seen a picture of a whale. Like its tail had a certain pattern.
Yep, they do that with like whales too and stuff like that.
40 years later between photos.
Yeah. So we kind of estimate their population is just around 5,000 animals.
Ooh, that's not much.
It's very low.
Yeah.
But their only reason they're probably not extinct is because they have a very high genetic plasticity. So what that means is that they travel so far that the population is constantly mixing genes.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That if it was any other species of animal that was more locked to the area they would be in, they'd probably be extinct.
Or at least extirpated.
No, extinct.
Oh, okay.
They would be extinct.
Trying to sound smart.
Because the gene pool would really, really start filtering out really fast.
They'd be born with 6 talons.
Yeah, so
2 heads.
Birds, especially large birds, don't get that chance to have genetic hiccups. But yeah, so there's about 5,000 of them. So they are red listed. They're critically endangered. Most countries list them as threatened or vulnerable, but they are on the red list, which is just a kind of a global thing that says, these guys are not doing very good.
Let's start breeding these. I bet we could do it.
I mean, if you really want to.
Let's do it.
That'd be like the worst thing to try to breed is the biggest eagle on the planet.
Not when they're on
with
our
a
sides.
bad attitude.
We'll be like those like the Mongolians where they have the eagles riding on their arms and they just send them out.
Yeah, so those are most of the time bald eagles, golden eagles, stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is an eagle that's the size of a man.
Yeah, I want myself riding on my arm.
I don't think you could carry him around.
You know how scary you would be though? Like police come in like, we're here to seize your property.
And there's a dinosaur.
Get him.
So you want some quick, interesting facts before we end the episode?
Yeah, some freaky fauna facts.
So the Steller seagull is named after George Wilhelm Steller,
Ooh.
a noted 18th century explorer and zoologist. You'll be hearing more about him in a couple weeks.
Ooh.
The Stellers are often are called owishi in Japan and are revered and honored. They are considered one of the largest of all species of eagle, along with the Philippine eagle and the harpy eagle. So the harpy eagle we talked about earlier.
Yep.
The Philippine eagle looks like it may be a genetic offshoot of the Steller sea eagle.
Oh, okay.
Just a more tropical counterpart.
Mm-hmm.
A group of Steller sea eagles is referred to as a constellation.
Ooh, that's interesting.
They are diurnal, meaning they hunt during the day. So that's kind of, raptors pretty much split down the middle, whether the diurnal or nocturnal. You want to know what that one means? They hunt
Probably
at
night, yeah.
No, so they're diurnal.
I usually use a urinal at day or night. I'm both.
So I'm going to try to read this. The scientific name for the Steller seagull is Heletius pelycaeus.
Okay.
They are unique among all sea eagles in that they have bright yellow beaks, even in the juvenile birds. And they do. They have really, really brightly colored faces.
If you've never seen one, just Google it. I think I said that in an episode before. Maybe not on this, but because I looked them up and I'm like, I've seen these before, and they got the big yellow beaks.
There's not many of them in captivity that I can even think of. I think Alaska has a couple of them in captivity. They don't like captivity.
Oh, I can imagine.
No bird really cares for captivity.
Right.
But,
Except
eagles, bald eagles are easier to keep in a cage than this thing.
Dang.
This is literally like a man.
We need some.
This is a man with a switchblade on his face and switchblades for feet.
Feet, yeah. We'll train them to just guard our houses.
They are often referred to white-shouldered eagles. And if you look at pictures of them, you'll see why.
Yeah.
They have white shoulders.
Yeah.
Due to the nets collapsing under their own weight and egg predation, only about half to 2/3 of eggs successfully reach adulthood. They have very, very low success rate with babies.
Yeah.
Steller seagulls have no natural predators.
That's pretty sweet.
And this probably links to, we've talked about with other species and stuff like that, of why their population's so low. It's kind of the natural governing.
Mm-hmm.
If nothing besides, like once they're adults, nothing's eating these.
Right.
These things have been witnessed to bully brown bears off of their kills.
That's insane.
Because they'll just swoop in and they'll start hitting these brown bears in the face.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, that's like a fistful of steak knives.
Yeah, if you can't get them with one swipe, I'd run too.
I mean, they're giant. They're fast.
I wonder if octopus could get them with doing that little trick.
I don't think they'll win this one.
Really? You don't think so?
No.
I think if it gets him, if it can pull him under the water, he's got him.
I don't think so.
But that'd be an awesome match to watch.
I mean, it's like a 30-foot giant Pacific octopus.
All right, well, we're like 70. I'll raise a giant Pacific octopus.
You don't even have to wait that long.
You're right. You raise a, in 10 years.
I was going to say giant Pacific octopus only lived to be 7.
That's right, yeah. In 10 years, we're going to have this battle. I'll raise one, you raise another one. I'm just going to show pictures of, like, these eagles. And like,
why do you get the octopus?
Because I want to win. Okay, so I'm making the case of the octopus. You said the eagle would
if
win.
it is the biggest octopus, sure. I'm saying on average, each animal meeting.
Well,
and they probably do meet in the wild.
They might.
They share the same range.
Let's make it happen. We'll set this battle up years in advance, and we'll have pay-per-view.
So what's gonna happen is, you know how the octopus catches the eagles as it waves that fish.
Right.
What's gonna happen is the Steller Seagull is gonna grab that fish and then look down and see that it's carrying an octopus with it.
Just yank it out of the. See if it pulled it up to this.
You're talking about a bird that bullies.
Right. Yeah.
Grizzly bears.
If it gets it. See, it could win.
Grizzly bears are considered one of the nastiest animals on the planet.
Right.
For just being big and awful.
But octopus are very smart and intelligent. It's like a different spectrum of...
We're very smart and intelligent.
Mean and nasty. I know, but we don't have suction cups over...
We're not going to win against a lion.
Oh, I would.
Oh,
I would. You get me a spear and my mitts on it.
All right. So that's been the Steller Seagull. Really cool bird. One of the biggest birds on the planet as far as raptors go. You know, the only bigger ones you really are going to find is some of the ocean-faring albatrosses and condors.
Right.
In both...
sandhill cranes.
No, the singwood body of sandhill crane. These things probably eat sandhill cranes.
But they're about the same size, right?
Huh?
About the same size, right?
I guess height-wise they would be.
Yeah.
Poundage, no.
No, I know. Yeah, not even close.
That's like comparing...
Sandhill crane's like like a origami paper thing.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what a Steller Seagull will be compared to.
So, that positive notes for this week's Freaky Fauna.
Yes.
It's starting to get warmer out. Most of the places that the show's listened to. You guys above the Arctic Circle, I'm sorry. It doesn't get warm. I guess warmer.
Yeah.
It does, you can see the sun for more than 12 minutes a day. Go bird watching this weekend. And not like professional bird watching. Just go out and enjoy some birds and stuff like that.
Here's some chirps and peeps.
It's good for you. Do you know they just did that scientific study, and there's like memes about it.
Right, yeah.
Where they proved that if people spend more than 30 minutes a week with birds, it helps like with depression and stuff like that.
We need more of it. Need to get back to nature.
It's not quail, I'll tell you that.
I like listening to them, though.
They're fine.
When
you look at them and you see how dumb they are, it's not the birds they're talking about.
Yeah, I know.
They're talking about majestic birds.
Well, they still have a nice sound when they're not freaking out.
All right, guys. Have a good weekend. Do something kind for somebody else. Pick some trash up off the street or off the beach or whatever when you go out. Just pick some trash up.
Eat a quail.
Yeah, they're great for you. All right, I've been the great and powerful mystery.
And I've been Jay.
Have a good week, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Freaky Fauna Friday. If you want to help the podcast grow, remember to share and give it a 5-star review.